Hey everyone, sorry for being late. I just started the recording. Kevin, we're getting a bunch of noise from you. Can we mute you or? Thank you. All right, who has an open topic for the day? Michael or Mike? Either of you guys have anything?
Well, maybe Oliver, do you have any questions about the mocking stuff that's in there for Google Test, or did you have everything resolved? Because Mike Kenny might be able to help close any opens there that you might still have.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't have any questions. I think it all makes sense to me. I do have a separate question, which we don't necessarily need to deep dive in this conversation, but maybe folks know who would be the best to talk to. So, Rebecca, I've already talked to you a bit about this, but I've been investigating some issues I'm seeing on GCC on ARM64 where both common page size and common page size is being passed to the tool chain twice. One saying 32 byte alignment and one saying 4K alignment. And I'm seeing on some random builds that the 32 byte alignment is being chosen, which then breaks GenFV because it's looking to have 4K alignment when it's converting the ELF image into the PECOF. So I've been trying to do a bunch of digging, chatting with a bunch of folks, and unfortunately, I don't have a reliable repro. And the repro I do have is on some non-public code, so I've been working on trying to get a public example, but it's been very inconsistent. So I was wondering if there's any suggestions of who on the EDK2 side may be good to talk to about this, because I think no matter what, that passing common page size twice to the same in the same command line is not supported, right? And it's hoping that LD parses the arguments in a way we expect, which so far I've been seeing evidence is not always the case.
Yeah. Have you talked to Marvin on Discord about this? I think you have.
Yes, I have. Marvin's feedback was maybe we should be using max page size. I've looked into that a bit deeper. I've spent half of today reading LD's source code, and I'm not better off for it. What I gather from that is that max page size is actually something defined by the ABI that the processor supports. So each processor, yeah. So I don't think that's something we want to update, and we should instead use, right. Per common page size, that does seem to be the right field to manipulate, but I suspect that we should just be setting 4K except for at least on the ARM64 side, except for possible the XIP code. Now that's where it started to get more complex because according to Marvin, and I haven't had a chance to dig into this yet, that the XIP flags that get set in for GCC and Clang are actually when I did confirm this are actually used by more than just XIP code. So it looks like anything in PEI gets it. So it's unclear to me what we would actually want the section alignment to be there and why that's not, if it is the 32 byte, why that's not breaking GenFV. Sorry, yeah, GenFW.
Yeah, yeah, I need to dig into that more after I get my big toolchain patch merged.
Is there a bug filed about this, Oliver?
No, I can do so. I've been trying to gather my feedback to be able to file a bug and send out an email. So far it's been a bit scattered because results have not been consistent with it, but I can file a bug.
Could you assign that to me, please? Because I've been digging into ELF and PCOF file formats and stuff recently.
Will do. Yeah, thanks.
Any other open topics for today? Isaac, I see you joined. Any good updates on EDK2 platforms?
No, I'm sorry, I don't have any updates for you at this time.
Okay. Mike, anything you want to bring up?
Let's see, I guess what went open that's definitely tools related is, I guess we're still seeing some random sightings of CI failures. I think the latest one that I think Rebecca noticed today was a failure to download a wheel from PyPy for base tools or one of the pipe tools, I forget which. So I think Michael Kubaki, I think we had talked about adding some retries or something like that. That may be a candidate for a retry.
Yeah, the problem is it seemed to last about like 30 minutes to an hour. So it wasn't just like lasting a couple of minutes.
Got it.
Yeah, we had the same thing happen. I believe it was over the weekend or really recently on our side with reaching out to PyPy and it failing.
Now I know for that if we were under GitHub Actions, there's an easy way to cache like your Python modules based upon pip requirements.txt or something like that. I don't know if that equivalent action exists on the Azure Pipelines side. And that would at least prevent the need to reach out to PyPy if the pip requirements hasn't been modified.
It's at least not as easy if it exists over there. I haven't looked into it extensively, but I did kind of just look across the various tasks for the option, and it wasn't like readily apparent how to do it over there.
Okay. All right.
But I do know that container images are also pretty flaky on the GitHub container registry as well. I've seen some connection issues there recently.
Go at the containers or the caches? Because what I was talking about was using the cache mechanism, which is the image file associated with a GitHub action.
I was talking about the container specifically, just like
Okay.
like whenever we specify something on GHCR, one of the container images, those have been like pretty like spotty recently in terms of their availability.
Okay.
So those are the two main places I've seen issues is pip and containers have been causing some problems.
Yeah, there was even a problem with caches last week for about, I don't know, 12 hours. Like we were one of the few percent that were seeing failures there.
Yeah, that might have been during a large GitHub outage.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think that's about the time our fetching of GitHub containers from their registry also went down for about 12 hours or so.
Right. I was wondering if a pip we could clone the repos and do a local install instead. That would certainly avoid having to reach out to PyPy as well.
That's possible. I think we would need to look into various. I think that's probably one approach to it. I think there might be other caching mechanisms there on the pipelines that we need to look into. But I agree that at this point the frequency is concerning enough that it's probably something worth looking into.
Okay, thanks.
That was my main question. Are these things adding up to enough queue time that, you know, we're having throughput problems, or is it just a little bit of an inconvenience?
I would say like, I mean, it's all overcomable, right? Like we can always rerun it and get it through. It's just if these windows of outages are popping up enough that whenever we have, like, we're talking about a 12-hour window, if you have something critical that needs to go in that 12 hours, it's an issue. But if you don't, it's not. Um, so I think that so far it's not like I've seen anything critical be blocked because of it. But I think it's frequent enough and the windows are large enough that that's a possibility in the future.
Right, and I think
Yes.
the other challenge is it requires manual monitoring when the windows are that big to click the retry button.
Right. And then there's certain people that can click it and certain people that can't. And then like the average user doesn't even know what's going on and they're just confused why their CI is broken, which is another
Right.
problem.
So yeah, for me, I don't have the retry button, and so I had to make like a change to a commit, and then undo that change to get a different hash, and then force push, and that re-triggered the CI. So yes, it's just annoying.
I mean, another thing we could maybe look into is like if we try to reduce our points of failure, we could try to put more stuff in the container images and maybe do more frequent container builds. To try to have it such that once we pull those down, we have more of our dependencies in those and we have to reach out to less other places.
Right. So yeah, in my previous job, we did that. I think we did a container build every time the like the PyPy, for example, every time the PyPy requirements changed, we would do a new container build and push that to our local GitLab container registry. So yeah, I don't know, that's one way. But then you have to manage that, like you have to manage all the versions as well. So yeah, I don't know if that's any better.
Yeah, I think we could look at like I said, I think we just need to look at the approaches and the trade-offs and then figure out what we want to go with. I kind of like the idea of having more frequent container builds than we do with like more of our dependencies in there, but I understand that the head of managing all those could get overwhelming. But I think it's manageable if we wanted to go down that route.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that's actually quite a good approach. That would certainly remove the point of failure of PyPy and possibly others. So yeah.
Yeah, and then we can just focus on stabilizing the container connection at that point, which is unfortunately not super strong at the moment, but at least, you know, like we're saying, we reduce our points of failure.
Okay. Anything else?
Oh, have you had a chance to look at OpenSSL options that are being considered? Sean, I know that's not quite a tools and CI topic, but I think we'd mentioned it before here.
So someone on the team is definitely trying to get up to speed on that. And, you know, I think where it will come back to this conversation is, you know, I think we want to get back to talking about a crypto binary and potentially even, you know, is Tiana Core willing to publish a crypto binary? And does that make these kind of transitions easier? You know, the information we're getting about the future is that these kind of transitions are going to happen more regularly. And so we think a crypto binary is the right way to go. But so no, I don't think I have any updates, anything actionable or interesting there. We are getting up to speed and trying to get. So we do have in Project Mu a crypto binary. We're trying to get the 3.0 version integrated into that. Make sure our testing is good. Make sure that you know, we can swap in the 3.0 branch without any negative impacts on platforms.
Okay.
At that point, we'll have some feedback if there's something interesting.
Okay, so you're looking at using 3.0 as is, because I think JWin's got some branches that evaluate some changes to 3.0 to reduce the size impact, as well as the evaluation of embed TLS.
So I think where we're at right now is we're thinking we would use wherever EDK2 goes with 3.0. So I'm assuming that's with JWin's changes. I have not followed enough to know that we were looking at embed TLS as well.
Okay.
So we'll try to get up to speed and hopefully provide something useful.
Oh, Mike, could you update the PyPy project for EDA2 base tools, please? I thought you said you were going to change it from Matthew to me.
Yeah, I think Sean, you're the one who set up that, or somebody on your team set up the PyPy registration, right?
Oh, that was me. Yes, you are right. I'll make that change here in a moment.
Okay, thanks.
I did get your alias or your email last time. So yep, that's perfect.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Is Christina? No, we may, Rebecca, you may have to watch and see if the token under which we publish today, the releases, is Matt's. That will make Matt's become invalid and we won't be able to publish anymore. So at that point, I guess I'll be asking you to create a pat and put that into the build system so that the publishing can come from you.
Okay.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, we can talk next week.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, bye.
Thank you. Bye.